Well, it just dawned on me now that I may have a list. I may have a list of all the burns, but I don't have a list of all the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. Oh, I have a list of all the yearlings. All the yearlings. So I'm going to start with all the yearlings now. All right, I'm going to start with the yearlings. I'm going to do the burns, and you know what? The 2 and 3-year-olds, give me a break for 1 week. I'm going to make new lists this week. I can't do all the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds again. I think everybody knows the 2-year-olds racing, for the most part, are either rested now or they got 2 or 3 starts coming to them. They're going to be turned out. For the love of God, I'm going to have to do a 2-year-old list. All right, let's start with the yearlings, 1 through 42. I'm going to tell you who they are, what they are doing, and you should be able to see them under the drone. Now, will you see $1 Million Swan under the... Hey, they said they've already broke them. So, yeah, you probably will see them under the drone. So, Almost Their Boss. Almost Their Boss, really sharp-looking colt. They're all in the hobbles now, all the pacers, by the way. Almost Their Boss, sharp-looking colt. I hope when I get back next Friday. So for Saturday, you're going to see them for the first time, and I am going to see some of them in the hovels for the first time. So Almost Their Boss, I'm going to get a good look at him. Good-looking colt by Sunshine Beach out of his sister to Steelhead Hanover. You guys have heard the spiel about this guy before. I like everything I've seen about him so far. Amor Diener needs to be a gelding immediately. He is a frustrating animal. There's 2 horses that need to be gelded right away. One for a very different reason. One of them kicked the other day and actually kicked Teresa, our caretaker. That is a no-no, and that will get you castrated quite quickly. If you're studying the burn and kick at our grooms, our caretakers, you will be castrated. So Amor Diener, he's just rude when you go out the door. There's nothing wrong with that. He reminds me a lot of the horses that ended up good for us in July, but we cut them early. This is a guy that needs to be a gelding right away. Good-looking colt. I know a lot of people are like, hey, why can't I buy shares of this horse yet? He's well-bred, and it says sold out. Who's he sold out to? Me. I just haven't put him on the board yet for everybody else. I will. I will in the next week or so. Arch's Rainbow. This is a filly. Also was talked about at Lexington. I did a video, maybe 2 videos of this filly. I really liked her, and I didn't buy her just because of everything that was going on. It was poor placement in the catalog. And then I ended up purchasing her privately afterwards. She went for a lot less than I thought she would, and I didn't buy her. And then the more I thought about it, I had talked to the gentleman that had bought her and said, hey, if we don't get what we want the last day of Lexington, maybe I'll purchase the filly off of you. And then I never talked to him again. He reached out to me a week later and said, hey, do you still want this filly? I said, yeah, I just assumed you already sold her. And he didn't, so we ended up paying $7,500 US plus taxes and whatnot for her. She went through the sale for $5,000, and a complete flop in the ring, but not her fault. She had a nice video, first foal out of a Muscle Hill mare, I believe. Just a really, really nice filly. Just literally fell through the cracks, and just one of the horses that I could have been there to scoop her up, but it was just bad timing. I had a lot still on my plate, a lot I wanted to do on day 5, and she was at the end of day 4, and I just let her go. But we ended up with her anyway. So Arch's Rainbow, Archangel filly, another very well-bred filly, is in our barn now. She'll go up on the sale board, I don't know, at some point in the next week or so. Blue Bayou Dio is going now. She looks really good on the track. She's got a little streak in her, too. I jogged beside her the other day. James was going with her. She tried to kick at him a couple of times. She's spunky. But she's a really nice filly. Got a beautiful gait when she's going. Bomb Hugger, little squirrely coming out of the barn, but really nice filly to watch. She's just goofball. She's just always vibrating, always bouncy, but not hot or crazy or anything. Does her work really well. So I'm interested to see what kind of gains they've made with her and how she's going to look next Saturday. Century Invictus. I went with this horse very loud and steady in the barn. Not mean, just loud and steady. And I just went out and jogged him, and the horse was perfect. Didn't do a thing wrong, but I didn't want anybody else going with him and screwing around with him. So I went with him Thursday. James, they just turned him out. Line drove him Friday, put him in the field Saturday, and James will go with him Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll be there on Saturday. So we may even get the hobbles on Century Invictus. I said they all did. That's a lie. That colt is not yet. We may have them on him by Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. If he does well Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe hobble days for him. We will see. But a really, really nice looking colt in Century Invictus. Confederate Cruiser, he's another little guy that bounces around and acts up, but pace is nice. I've seen him. They got the hobbles on him now. So Confederate Cruiser, you'll see him on Saturday. Duke Dio, my God, he's a beautiful horse. This horse does everything right. Just a treat to be around, does everything right on the track. I went with him the other day the right way of the track. I can't wait. I want to go with him on Saturday. Obviously, there's 42 horses. I'm going to have to make up a set list, I guess. Me, James, Mario, who else? Phil Cool is there, and maybe Chris might get to go with some of them. I don't know, but I would say, geez, be nice if we get 6 people. 7 and 6 is 42. Yeah. It would be nice to get 2 more people, so maybe I'll ask Harry and Kevin if they can come up. We'll see. LSL looks nice on the track. This is a colt. Now his buddy Harlan's going to lose his testicles, but Ellis is good for now. Eyes at 10, going good. A couple of these horses will carry over on a shaft or get on a line, and I've asked Amy and James to make a list. These are horses that will go and get fluoroscoped. If they got an OCD or something somewhere, we'll take it out, but I want to get that nipped in the bud really, really quick. So not to say that Isa 10 does, but she does carry over on the left shaft and get on the left line. Not really worried about it either way, OCD or otherwise. But horses like her will likely find their way onto a vet list in the next week or 2. Grace, you guys haven't heard or seen of Grace. Now, Grace is a full sister to Darling Please. Greg had sent Grace over. We're going to train her down the same, and if we sell her, we sell her. I know I would have liked to keep Darling Please, but we got pretty good money for her. So Grace is the full sister. You're going to see her training down with us this winter. Granite Hill is a beast. He looks as big as I said he did at the sale. You guys are going to see him next week. He looked awesome. I went with him the other day. Really impressive looking horse. Harlan L, he goes nice, but he did kick Teresa, and he will be losing the use of his testicles here in the next couple of weeks. Good looking trotter, really big, strong guy. Not a horse I would like to have kicking at me. So Teresa's tough, but Harlan's going to have to learn some manners in the burn. To do that, I think little nip and tuck is in order. Hill of Magic, beautiful trotter. She trots really, really nice on the track. Amy goes with her every day. Amy can go with some more. So what am I talking about? So Amy goes with this filly all the time and really likes her. She's a really, really nice filly. Kathy with an eye. What is a Kathy with an eye? Somebody said. Kathy with an eye is a beast. This is a giant, maybe one of our biggest horses. She's a Uncle Peter filly that one of our good clients, Joel, has sent to us from Winterwood Farms to train down. She's a good-looking filly. Very interested to see how Kathy with an eye is going to progress over the next week. I know a couple of times, tough to get her out of the door. She'd stop and be stubborn. They usually do that for a few days, and then they get over it. So I'm curious to see how James is gonna progress with Kathy this week. Loving Beauty, she was being rude when we first broke her, but she's looked good. Actually, Chris was going with her the other day, and she looked really, really good for Chris. Pretty happy to see Loving Beauty doing well. This would be our only Indiana bred with any shares left, right? The horse that we just traded out for Cabernet. I see some shares bouncing back and forth. Please, for the love of God, just wait till he gets here, will you? People are selling shares. I know there's some people that were racehorse owners that own shares in Cabernet and maybe want to dump their shares out because they didn't want to wait on a yearling. But as I said to them, this was a great deal for us. You may want to wait and see. If they don't, they don't. That's fine. But Loving Beauty is our only Indiana-bred Indiana-bred horse in our barn. We have 4. She's the only one with shares left. Really shouldn't have any left. She's a really, really good-looking filly, and all she does is trot. So I'm eager to see what she looks like on Saturday. Not expecting it. They're just jogging, but at the same time, you do like to see a trotter understand their work and trot. Pretty good feeling. So a number of these horses have been. Loving Beauty was the other day. Massive Profit. He's made a couple of breaks bouncing around on the track, but I'm sure he'll catch it. Probably put a set of bell boots on him for Saturday for a little bit of weight. But he's been looking good on the track. Matt's MVP, I jogged beside him with James the other day. He is beautiful. Really, really nice looking horse. And then $1 Million Swan, as I said. I guess he'll be in the sets on Saturday. They said they broke him and he's been going. So hopefully he lands here Wednesday or Thursday and we can get him on the track on Saturday's drone. We'll see. Mischievous Rose, you guys will hear a lot about Mischievous Rose over the next couple of months. This is a beautiful, very correct muscle mass filly. Her mother is a sister to Globetrotting's mother. I didn't know that until about 2 weeks ago. Beautiful on the track. Amy, again, has been going with her. I saw her the other day. I think Johnny was going. Johnny can go with some. We will have sets of 6 on Saturday. Johnny was going with Mischievous Rose, and she looked good. Of Tom, that's how you pronounce it, apparently. Little tricky to get along with. Amy doesn't know if she likes her or not yet, but I love her to death. She got a beautiful gait. I really, really like, Of Tom. 1, 2, skip a few, bouncing around on the track a little bit. You can see how she got her name. So we'll put a little weight on her this week, and I'm sure she'll be fine on Saturday. Prairie Fire trots nice. I like these long toms. Really, really like them. They got nice gaits. They're square gated. They do their work well. Prairie Fire is a good looking colt. Procrastinator now. I jogged him with the hobbles on for the first time on Friday. Interested to see how he makes out over the next week with them on. Love to get back and see him pacing full time on the track. Takes time sometimes, but we'll see. Purple Aura. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful gait. Everybody that goes with her really, really likes her. So Purple Aura does everything correctly. Renegade Gypsy was bad for a few days, but is doing everything proper now. I think Mario had originally said he wanted to castrate him, but I think the last time I talked to him a couple of days ago about him, he said the horse was doing fine. So we'll see. Resolute Bay, again, the little chestnut. He might need castrated. He's a little stubborn sometimes, but beautiful gait. It's just the way they are sometimes, right? Sometimes it takes time. You might talk to you in 2 weeks, say, oh, he's perfect now. Or it might not. So the only horses for sure that I can tell you are getting castrated are Harlan L. That's the horse that kicked. Teresa, and Amor Diener, stubborn little bugger, but he's got a nice gait. All he does is trot. Just got to get that little streak out of him, and a lot of them doesn't take much. Just a little castration, and they're perfect. Resolute Bay, as I said. This guy was on the castration list. We'll see if he is or he stays on it or not, but he trots really, really nice. He's a beautiful little horse. Rose Above It. This is a horse people are going to start taking note of, especially since all the Cantab Halls were crushing at the Breeders' Crown. Older sire, but man, is he ever a good horse. He throws some good horses. I think somebody said first and second in the Fillies division and win the Colts or something, but looked really, really good. He makes nice horses, right? He just does. He gets good mares and he makes nice horses. So I don't think he's going anywhere for a while, and we're very, very lucky to have 4 of his horses. Where are we at? Rose Above It. As I said, this is the one out of the sister to Muscle Massive. We've had a horse out of this family before. Did very well with and Rose Above It. Looks like a really, really nice horse also. Rosie's Masterpiece, another Muscle Mass filly, just really nice filly. Does her work well, goes on the track well. She acted up one day, I think, last week, but for the most part, this is a full sister to a horse that made $900,000 also. Rosie's Masterpiece. Expectations, I'd say, are considerably high for this filly moving into 2021, but at the same time, she's done everything we've asked her to so far. It's been a couple of weeks. Not like we asked any of them to do anything more than just listen and do their work. So they'd have to be either really bad or really, really good right now to be excellent or poor. But for the most part, everybody's doing everything properly. Slim Jimmy certainly does. He does nothing wrong. Spent. This is Spend That Money's brother. Phil Cool takes care of the horse. He loves this colt. Pretty hard not to like this guy. Stonebridge Dolce, you're going to see her next week. This affiliate doesn't have any shares available yet. Also, a Cantab Hall filly. Very nice filly, very well bred. Stonebridge Hakati. This is Stonebridge Simba's brother. And, Cadabra colt, really good looking colt. A little surprised there's any shares left in this guy. We're going to have to rectify that quickly. Sweet on Pete continues to just be a nice filly. I mean, I thought she'd be bad when we broke her, like kick and be nasty. She's been perfect. Very, very nice filly, Sweet on Pete. Tie one on. This is Tipsy and Dixie's sister, and she does everything right on the track also. Somebody had said to me the other day, think John Daly would want any shares of Tie one on? Maybe that's the one for him. We'll see about Tie one on. Tioga Sunshine. Again, the people that raised, like Jeff Gorell's people at Alraj Farms that took care of these horses did an incredible job. They are the nicest, most polite, I shouldn't say polite, the one horse kicked the girl, but behave for the most part. Now, you can't do much when you put studs in with a group of young horses, right? you know what's going to happen. It's a classroom situation. You know, you some of them that are going to be loud and try and be dominant, and sometimes you put them in close quarters, and somebody can get kicked, and you got to pay attention to that. And it's just one of those things. But for the most part, these horses are well behaved, and they understand. You can just tell they were worked with. And you know, this Tioga Sunshine is just the sweetest little filly you'd ever want to see. Twinkle in her eye. Like a lot of the Better's Delight, she's just trying to get gated up. Mario's had the hobbles on her for 4 or 5 days. He says, she canters and gallops. That's fine. Lots of them do. Just leave her alone. Put a little weight on her behind, a little set of brace bands, just let her hobbles out, she'll pace. You Gotta Believe. Wow, this was the horse we bought for the McMaster Children's Hospital fundraiser type thing, and a couple of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Doug Gilmore, Rick Vive, Shane Corson is involved also. They got involved with I think I'm forgetting someone. They got involved with You Gotta Believe, but really, really good looking colt on the track. Not big, nothing special about him. Not good because he got his mane sticking up. Looks like somebody was chewing on his mane for half an hour. So he's a scraggly looking horse, but got a beautiful gait. All he does is trot. I was jogging beside him with Johnny the other day. He can go, the little bugger. So really impressed with what I've seen so far with You Gotta Believe. Belief. Unbeatable Kemp. I put this. I'm going to make sure I didn't say this about somebody else. Unbeatable Kemp is one of the most underappreciated horses we have. Tons of shares left. Well bred, beautiful gait, beautiful body, dark horse with a big white blaze down his face. But just a beautiful horse to begin with on the track. Looks nice. And shouldn't have any shares left. And again, he's another horse. We're probably going to take care of that in the next couple of weeks. So Unbeatable Kemp, definitely a good looker, definitely underappreciated, and there shouldn't be any shares left of this guy. And yet, somehow, there is. Voyage of Ice and Fire was a little sick last week. His legs were all stocked up. He was just a little under the weather. Very light jogging, kept an eye on his temperature. He's a nice type of horse. You know, we had GW Chrome last year, who was really caught my eye throughout the summer. Not so much on the track as much as how he went about his work and how he learned. And he was a very smart, and he is a very smart horse. And I'm hoping that we get much of the same with Voyage of Ice and Fire. And then last and certainly not least, I told you guys you're going to pay attention to this guy. World for Two. It's a rock and roll dance colt with the big Roman nose, big strong looking bugger. You're going to pay attention to this guy. And he looks sharp on the track. I can't wait to see him next Saturday. That's all of them. That's 42. It should be anyway. I didn't count them, but I know how many we have. 42 babies up, 42 down. I'll be back with all the barns in just a minute.